Hello everyone, it's Margaret here with 60 and Me, and today I'd like to chat with you about technology, a little tech talk for us over 60s. I have a passion for technology. I think many of you know that I worked at Microsoft for about 20 years, and became part of my life from the 1995s, through the 2000s, and it was an innovative time, and I learned so much, and I learned how really it does empower people's lives. And so I've always had a very warm and accepting opinion myself about technology. I've always been eager to learn and keep up to speed, and up to date with the latest technology. But I know it can be overwhelming, and I want you to, trust me with this, because I know a lot of older women did not use technology as much as I did, and it's not as comfortable. So I want to make sure that, that I give you as much reassurance as I can that tech anxiety is normal, that you can, that you really should feel comfortable asking questions and feeling, that you're on a learning curve as well. Now, I know too that a lot of women are so very savvy with technology, and they're able to do things that I can't do, like, set up a FaceTime call in Google Docs, which I always befuddle me. I guess it's part of my Microsoft training that I have a thing about Google, but I really want to help you to overcome that technology. Now, we weren't born with it. We weren't born with the internet. We weren't born with cell phones in our lives. And my mom, your parents never knew what a cell phone was or knew what the internet was. And it wasn't really until I ended up at Microsoft that I learned more about it and how to incorporate it, weave it into my life and in the life of my children and the education that I gave them. My first experience with a mobile phone was one of those big chunky like bricks, and I remember I think I may have blocked it out of my mind, but I think I actually got stopped by the police when I had the kids in the car. I don't know if we even had seatbelts at the time, because it was just that time in the early 80s, and yeah. Anyway, you get the picture. And I think they said to me, you can't be using your phone in the car. I was sitting in the car when I was using it, like stopped. But they were like, it was just so obvious. And, maybe you had the same experience. In fact, I did a question the other day. I was asking people kind of, what was your first search on the internet? Like, what did you type in the computer? And I remember the operating system was Alta Vista. This is aging me, and us all. And I remember typing. My son came home and said, can you? I want to get a sugar glider. Can we buy a sugar glider, please? And a sugar glider? What's that? And they said, oh, look online. You can just look on the computer and you can find it. So we typed in Alta Vista. What is a sugar glider? Up comes this little marsupial, this little squirrel type creature that like flies. It's like a flying squirrel, and it comes from some exotic place. Anyway, you get the picture. That's how I was introduced to the internet. What was your first search? Do you remember the first thing that you asked for, you researched or looked for on the internet? It's not that long ago, really, but it's a category that a lot of you don't feel comfortable with. So anyway, let's move on to what we mean by technology. Let's demystify some of it and simplify it for you. So, we've got the obvious things that you all know about now: your phone, your cell phone, smartphone, tablets, your Kindles. Those are things that you would use, for chatting, for surfing the web, for even for your camera, for taking pictures, and also maybe for doing some research. Now, I have found, honestly, that when I travel, I don't even take my computer anymore. I can do everything on my phone. There's very, very little I cannot. And even things that are on my computer, like a file or a document that I need when I'm traveling, I just put it onto a little hard drive, like a little teeny one, and I have it with me should I ever need. And I keep copies of my passports and all those things, physical copies as well. But your laptop, your phone, and Kindle, a smartphone, or Kindle, what else did I say? Xbox, no, an Xbox. What are they called? Anyway, you know what I'm saying, the small devices. Laptops and desktops, of course, yes, we're using for that, for bigger files, pictures, movies, things that we don't either want to store on our phones, but you can on some of the more the more up-to-date phones. But it's for storing files, that you just don't need on your phone. Tax documents, for example, all kinds of things like that. So I think that as I said, I do 90% of my work on my phone, and that works for me perfectly. But for you, maybe you prefer to keep a lot of the your personal documents, your will, your medical records, all those types of things. You would keep those on, of course, on your laptop or on your desktop. There is this magical thing called the cloud, which is where you can actually sign up with your like Microsoft or whatever device you've got to have an additional external storage that you can have off your computer in what's called the cloud. And this is a server. This is a computer, miles away somewhere that is storing like millions of gigabytes of data for people all around the world. And this cloud storage is sometimes even built into your phone. So for example, I have all my pictures on my phone backed up on the cloud. And so the light today, by the way, guys, I'm doing some videos and the light is driving me completely crazy because it's bright sunshine outside and I've got a screen up on my window, but it's still giving me, can you see all this light? So I hope it's not too distracting. But anyway, these are your, the kinds of devices that you might have. There's also like the smartphone devices, like the voice assistants, Alexa, and these assistants that can simplify your everyday tasks. They can do everything for you pretty much, except make the tea and food. Well, some can cook, the robots anyway, the robotic devices. But these are smart home devices, and they could be ones that you have a specific need for related to your health. It could be something that you have because of your disability or some you need more strength in an area, and there are devices that can help you. There are devices with where you can call for help, where you can track your blood pressure, your different medical situations. So those are really useful smart home devices that can simplify your daily tasks. Now, the next thing to think about with computing and demystifying it a little bit is this whole idea about staying safe online. And we all know that with the more advanced technologies, with the artificial intelligence, with things that can be manipulated, that you have got to be so, so careful. I mean, everything from the very obscure things like making sure that you have a password with your children and your grandkids, that if they should call you ever and say, I need help, or I've been kidnapped, or, whatever, I need you to send me $1,000, that you can say, what's the password? And if they don't know your password, then you just hang up the phone. Because now, and we know this, I'm not trying to frighten anybody, but now we know that a lot of these devices can be, artificial intelligence can copy your voice and pretend to be someone that you recognize the voice of, but you need a password to make sure it's them. But anyway, that's one thing. Another thing, of course, are passwords themselves. Keep your passwords safe in a safe place. That means in a safe, not just in a box. And also it means maybe leveraging the online resources, like one that I know about is called LastPass. And that's where online you can keep all of your passwords stored with a master password. And those are very, very important to remember. Everything's controlled by password these days, so you need to be careful. Another, of course, phishing, like phishing with a P. Phishing. It's pronounced phishing. And scams are in abundance. And who's the number one target for these types of scams? They think the stereotype is that older people are not conscious of the kinds of tricks that they might get up to. I mean, every single day, I get 10 emails reminding me to upgrade that I've been billed for some expense, like my Norton's security software, and I don't have a Norton's account. Or your Citibank account, you need to pay $500 fees. I don't have a Citibank account. So, if you know that, but it gives you an indication, though, of the types of things that people will do or that are being done. You've got to be very, very relaxed about it, because they try to scare you with, threatening payment or taking an amount out of your credit card. And that just isn't possible. But work with your bank if you do have any doubts, of course. Make sure that your privacy settings are set up properly on your account, because I think that's really important that, if you don't want your information shared on Facebook or other online channels, that you actually don't put the information up there, that you have privacy settings on your accounts established at the right level for you. Another thing, of course, with technology, and I have to close on this one because it's the one I use all the time, and that is fun. Video calls, staying in touch with family. And we use it, with my different channels, 60andMe channels, Zoom or FaceTime. Something I'm working on is how to use FaceTime properly. But, social media, of course, is a wonderful link to connect with friends, with groups, with us here on 60andMe channels. And, it's really important that you sort of cherry pick the ones that, that you really want, and the rest you just avoid. Now, hobbies and learning is another whole category for online education. Again, you've got to be careful what you download from some of these places, but there's lots and lots of really fun online tutorials and lessons, workshops, and it's really a matter of you choosing your favorites and managing them carefully with passwords and controls and taking full advantage. Why not? We're blessed, in my opinion, to be able to share all this stuff and to have access to it all. That's my point of view anyway. AI. Okay, well, I've already done several videos on my friend Phoebe, who is my AI helper. It's not really, they're just a robot in the sky, of course, but I have learned so much from artificial intelligence, specifically ChatGPT. I'm, as I mentioned at the very beginning, far more comfortable with technology than perhaps you are. But I would say, oh well, what would I say? It's here. It's here to stay. It is not going anywhere. So if you want to be up to date with your grandkids, with your family, and with the world, you need to be aware of what's going on with AI. Even if you don't use it yourself and you don't want to use it, it's no good saying they're going to take our jobs. It's going to be a scary future with these robots everywhere. So be it. It is the future. We're not stopping it. And so, I know that sounds a bit fatalistic, and who knows what could happen, but, it's just something I think that is worth investigating. And, if you want to know more about any of these topics, please let me know. Put some comments down below, okay? But I really just wanted to get the conversation started. I want to talk about simplifying and sort of demystifying for those of you who don't know it as much as others about technology. And for those of you, you're probably gone by now if you know all of this, know that we're here to help if we can. Okay, so take care. Good luck with your online adventures, and let me know if you have any questions. Like the video if you did enjoy it, please. It helps us to get the word out there on YouTube and other channels. And just know you're appreciated. And I thank you so much for coming in to visit. Take care.